Welcome to the Corner Note. My name is Isaac,
And I'm Elijah.
and we have someone with us today. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And so basically, if you can't notice already too, there's a little bit of an upgrade. We don't have headphones and a mic for those of you watching the video. But anyways, that's besides the point. Today, we have something kind of interesting to talk about. This is not what we even anticipated talking about on today's podcast. Not even close.
No. Unplanned.
Yeah.
Well, I would say kind of planned, kind of not.
Planned not by us.
Yes.
Yes.
We planned something else.
Yeah.
And then it led into this.
But here's the real question. Is anything actually planned by us, though?
No.
Yeah.
So really, if you think about it, even if you have so quote-unquote plans, those plans are already predetermined, if you really think about it in a way. So.
True.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, just to kind of hint, we basically felt the supernatural power of God. Definitely a very strange experience that had us all kind of cracking up, to be honest.
At 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, like almost 2.
Yeah, it was getting close to 2. But so I guess we should probably go in the chronological order of kind of how this all happened. So I don't know if Elijah, you wanna maybe start off.
Well, your thing you started out with.
Well,
first.
remember so Elijah did a devotional on fasting.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it started with him doing a devotional on fasting.
Yes.
And that kind of brought the idea of us doing a fast, just us.
And then you were deciding to do. You brought it up too later on.
Yeah,
at
I
some
brought it
point.
up later on. Because I had heard a lot of stuff about what a fast can do for you spiritually, and so I was kind of curious as to, like, what does it do? Does anything change? Does it do anything for you spiritually? Kind of thing. Like, a lot of questions about it because you don't really see a lot of people practice it. And back in the Bible, it talks about it a lot, like frequently, about kind of, fasting is almost like a practice.
Right.
So we were definitely curious as to what does it do. So we thought we would give it a try. And so Elijah and I are not the sharpest light bulbs in the closet.
Definitely not.
So
Okay,
we didn't do our research, and that kind of let me just say,
Disclaimer, if you want to fast,
Do your research, guys, always.
Well, yes, do your research first. And I would recommend it to anybody, but that should determine the amount of time you do it for.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it for if you're like Isaac's body type, if you're watching the video, you can see, but like he's a lot skinnier than I am. And so Mans was struggling for a lot harder than I was, but
I've never known what it has felt like to be starving, but I was starving.
I mean, I was really hungry too, but I wasn't having any.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think like yours, the effects that you had were not as
It was not
bad
as
as
bad
his,
as
because his were definitely like
I was struggling.
struggling.
Yeah. So we did a fast. We were planning to do a whole week. We were planning to do 7 days, and it we finished at like 4 days.
Right?
At 4 days, yes.
So
exactly 4 days, pretty much.
Yeah. So before we started this fast, the Sunday before, we went to church, and in our college group in the morning, I guess, I don't know if he's technically a youth pastor, but he leads the group.
Yeah.
But we were talking a little bit about this God's sense of humor. And that'll come into play later, but we heard this before we started the fast. All right.
Yes.
So
And another thing is, this will come into play later also, is I was reading the book of Matthew for 2 weeks prior to this. I started reading the book of Matthew. So that will also come into play later.
yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll probably do another episode describing like like the fasting and what kind of came out of it spiritually, physically, and
Yes.
go more in depth as to maybe why you should, maybe why you shouldn't type of situation. So that'll probably be another episode. But today we mostly want to get down to what happened because it's just too crazy to not talk about now. So we started doing our fast for Monday, and to be honest, it was not too bad. You know, Monday we made it through pretty easily. Day 2 got increasingly harder.
yes.
We were struggling.
Oh, and preface this: we weren't doing 100% fast.
Yes, I forgot.
We were doing, yeah, we were doing it with protein shakes
But it was like with water.
with water.
Yes.
So it's just like protein powder and water together.
And that's it. That's all
That
we're
was it.
having.
It was
2 to 3 times.
disgusting.
Mm.
2 to 3 times a day.
I couldn't.
Well, we only did that for the first 3 days
3
because
days.
we were getting tired of it. And
I couldn't keep going anymore.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
we just yeah, it was not fun. So yeah.
Oh.
She saw the struggle.
I did. It yeah, you guys looked miserable. But I will say though, you guys did get closer to God though. Like I could tell like your guys' like whole like relationship definitely changed and you could
And
tell it's deeper.
surprisingly,
So
yeah.
that was really cool though to see like your spiritual connection grow, even
Mhm.
though like you guys were like mentally and physically
Yes.
like
Suffering.
depleting, but your
Mhm.
spirituality was
And
growing. So it was really cool to see like that
yes.
transition. So
And surprisingly, we didn't.
Die.
Well,
Well-
not that, but surprisingly, we didn't get irritable.
no,
Yeah.
not at all.
It was very weird.
I've never normally if you're hungry, it's like you get very irritable fast.
Yeah. But we surprisingly were hint.
Okay.
We surprisingly were actually pretty joyful, honestly. We were actually very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Just
were.
kind of odd. But yeah, the horrible part was just smelling the food and everything. But again, we'll save that for the actual fasting episode.
Yeah.
Right.
But day 3 was interesting. This is where things get a little crazy, right?
Yes.
I
So
will say, yeah.
day 3, we were struggling pretty bad. This is when I was kind of fiending for some food. I was like, will God accept a cracker? You think God will forgive a cracker or like maybe a meat stick or something? Because I'm in agony out here.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and we were also going to the gym. That's
Oh,
why we were
Yes,
doing the protein
yes.
That's true.
We were going
Yes.
to the gym, so
Oh.
that's why we were going doing the protein shakes.
Yes.
And
that same
Isaac,
day.
Isaac and I both do labor intensive jobs. He's a detailer
Very.
for cars, and I'm a mechanic on cars. So, like 9, 8-hour days. So
outside too.
outside.
Yeah, and I think on the 3rd day, didn't we do like cardio? So like that was
No, we do it Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
well, no,
and
because I was
Thursday.
with you guys when we did cardio.
Wasn't
that? That was either Wednesday or Thursday.
It was.
We did
It was
cardio
Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday, so it was Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the last day. So like they also did cardio on like the very last day and they were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so
We didn't go crazy.
no,
we,
no.
we definitely didn't go crazy when we went to the gym, but
No.
No, definitely not.
but yeah. So the 3rd day, I was working on a car and I was vacuuming it out, and this was just weird. All right, so I was vacuuming out this car, right? And I'm out here just like super hungry, and then as I'm vacuuming, all of a sudden I hear, "I command you to eat." And I stood up straight. I'm like, I turn off the vacuum, and I'm like, what am I just like really hungry and think that, or am I like I don't know what's going on here. All I know is I heard I command you to eat, and I was just confused. I was like, "Yo, G, that you?" Like, I was like, I don't know. All right, it was probably just me being really hungry and just hearing voices in my head at this point. So I just went back to work and finished up what I was doing. Um,
Yes.
and then maybe you should tell them what you read.
Okay.
Maybe
So I read Matthew 14. I believe it's Matthew 14.
Was it?
I believe it's Matthew 14.
well, it's Matthew 15 where the
Or
verse is.
50, okay, so 15. My
15.
bad. So actually, I'll pull out my phone so I can reference this, so I know for sure I'm saying whatever I'm saying is correct.
I think it's Matthew 15 verse
36.
36.
I think so, yeah.
So, all right. So I'm pulling out the Bible right now.
For those of you
'Cause-
who can't see.
You're
Yes.
right, isn't it?
So, all right. So it's yes, it's Matthew 15, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what it
15.
was.
Yes, it's Matthew 15 verse. I was wrong. 32.
Okay.
I was close. So
We'll accept that.
this is what the verse says. I read this on Thursday,
Which is
The
day
fourth-
4.
day 4. It says, "Then Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have compassion on the crowd because they have been with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat, and I am unwilling to send them away hungry, lest they faint on the way."
And he read that on Thursday morning.
Yes.
So right after day 3, before we went to work. So, and here's the even crazier part was you were splitting up
Yes. So
like chapters and stuff
It's,
too.
at one point, I split up a chapter. So if I didn't, though, I would have read this on the 3rd day, which would have been
Yeah.
even crazier.
Yeah.
So here's the thing I have is, so because I bookmark for the next time I want to read,
Yeah.
or the day before. So I bookmarked, or I split 13 and a half, which caused me to read it, I think either split the days for when I read it. Because I bookmarked Matthew 13 on Monday in the morning. So that means I read Matthew 13.
The first half of it.
Yes.
Right.
I read it on Tuesday. But then I bookmarked and then I bookmarked Matthew 13:36. Yeah, I know it's kind of confusing because it's like I'm bookmarking the day before, Tuesday in the morning.
Right.
So I could read that on Wednesday, the second half of Matthew 13 on Wednesday. So I read the first half on Tuesday and the second half on Wednesday. And then I finished that on Wednesday, the second half on Wednesday at 12 a.m. But I won't go into all this stuff because I know it's kind of...
Yeah,
I'm confused. And
It's
I'm very
confusing.
confused.
Yeah.
But just
so-
know that I split the
The chapters,
chapter 13 into
2 separate parts. So like
two
you
separate
read
parts. So I read one
one
part
half.
one day,
Yeah.
another part the other day.
Right.
And then I read 2 chapters, I think, one day.
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
one in the morning, one in the afternoon. But that caused me to read chapter 15 the morning of the fourth
day.
day.
Which is kind of crazy. So, even though all he said was a bunch of word soup, basically.
Yeah.
He read this
So,
verse on the
apologize.
4th day.
That was-
Yeah, because, wow. Anyways. Yeah, so he read that on the 4th day. And
Yeah.
that day was metaphorically like going through hell. I mean, we were
Yeah.
in pain. I
At
mean,
the end of the day, I definitely was.
I had
But
stomach pain at the end of the day, and we were
Yeah.
gonna keep going. We were just gonna push through it, and
yes.
but near the end of the day, like we were just
I saw how bad Isaac was, and I was like, I don't know if we should keep going. So
like
it caused me to look up the symptoms um of fasting, because I was like, or of like symptoms of fasting, and like what you should do, or what the symptoms are going to be that will cause you to stop, or why you should stop
yeah,
fasting.
Right.
And three of the symptoms, the same number, three, is gonna caused us to stop. Mine was a little crude, but
oh hey no,
diarrhea.
whoa, that's gross. All right, really?
You had stomach pain,
Yeah.
and then both of us were having kind of like dizziness, like
Yeah, like when we
confusion.
stood up, everything would like kind of fade to black. And then
Or for me,
like
I
a
was
couple
like, I'd
seconds.
stand up and I'd get kind of dizzy. Also, I stumble on my words a lot, but
Yes.
this
Yes.
time, I couldn't read words. Like I would try to say a word, and I was struggling to even say a word.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's bad.
So if y'all thought he couldn't read now,
Yeah.
you should have
Right.
heard it when he couldn't read at all.
It was bad.
So yeah, and then Friday is when things got real crazy.
Right. All
Yes.
because I was here. So if
Well,
I
yes.
wasn't here, I would say they would not have figured it out.
Probably
Well,
not.
the
Just
weird
kidding.
part is just that everything that happened, it was 3 days of like this God has something with threes. I don't know what it is, but he likes threes. Third
Yes.
day he rose again, it's just like it's a common
Right.
theme with him. But third day I heard I command you to eat, and then the second day Elijah read something about
The three men like
3
fast, like
days.
starving.
all the men and women
All
have
the
been out here for
people.
3 days, and we need to get them something to eat so they don't faint along the way.
Right.
And then on the last day, or the third day that these 3 events happened, Maddie, you should probably just tell them what you wrote. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote in my notes because I do like my Bible study, and I was supposed to do it. What day was it? Thursday? Because we talked about it on Friday, right?
yeah,
So I was supposed to do it on Thursday, technically. But I did my Bible study in the morning on Friday, and I did 2 the same day. And I wrote in my notes, although we cannot physically see certain things, but if we have faith, you will eventually see you will see these things. So it kind of just like related to how, although you might not be able to like see God in like human, like physical form, when you have faith, you'll be able to feel him and see him in like multitudes of different ways and stuff. So that was kind of like what I wrote in my
Yeah.
notes. It was really weird because like he heard, I command you to eat, and then Eli read something the same day, like the day after or whatnot. And it was just kind of like weird how all 3 of us
Well,
it
yeah.
kinda
Also,
connected.
your stuff lined up. A lot of what we were talking about that night,
that is true.
yeah,
we were getting very deep theological conversations.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were having deep theological conversations, and then for some reason I mentioned the fact that I heard on the third day of the fast I command you to eat, and then
And
he
then-
said something that
No,
he,
you said, and then you remembered the verse I said,
Yeah.
and then you were asking me
Oh,
which
yeah.
one it was.
I remembered the verse that he said, and then he said, "Wait, I read that on Thursday," and
Yeah.
then
Right.
so it was
And
just
I
like
bookmarked it on the third day.
Yeah, which is really weird.
so it was very weird that I had a sign, he had a sign, she had a sign.
Well, we had signs too of the pain.
Yeah, like after I ignored the I command you to eat, and after he read the thing about 3 days and
Yeah.
these people fainting along the way, is when we started to get stomach pain and all these what felt like
The fourth day, we were
You
getting
know,
into this
Yeah.
stuff.
plagues that got sent upon us, and we were just like, what is going on? So at this point, we were just like on the floor laughing, just like, wait. We were
Hysterically.
like
Yes.
hysterically, we were like, this is crazy. How did we were like,
We had no
speechless.
words to
had no
explain
words.
this.
And the crazy thing is, though, like, this is how I, like, if you're like, oh, well, how do we know that you two didn't tell me any of this stuff before I wrote this in my notes? Like, how do you know? I had no idea. I didn't find out,
Yeah.
like, any of this stuff until Friday when I came over and I was hanging out with them. We were getting into our conversation. Like, I had no idea that he heard, I command you to eat. And I
Yeah,
had,
he was gonna tell me, but I never know.
yeah, so, like,
Yeah.
nobody
And also,
knew.
I even have proof. I started my Matthew stuff 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that was in Matthew because I was just starting to get back into God's word a lot more.
Right.
So I'm just starting to read Matthew, and how is it that
That verse.
that specific chapter and verse was on that day?
Like,
Yeah.
the same
2
week.
weeks
It's crazy.
prior,
Yes.
and he reads it the day after.
Right.
That's not coincidence that it happens the week we decide to fast, the day
Right.
after I heard I command you to eat, and then these two things, after these two things pass, the next day, she writes that even though you can't physically see him or physically feel him, that if you have faith, you will see signs, or like you will see.
You'll see the things eventually. Like,
Yeah. It's
um,
just too many coincidences that there's too many coincidences to call it a coincidence that
Right.
these all occurred.
well, because, like, it's like, what's that saying? It's like, first time it's a coincidence, second time it's like, maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it wasn't, and then third time, like, for sure that is not coincidental. Like, it is.
Yeah.
In fact, like, that's
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Like, I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah, and so this whole experience was just something else. It was just wild, the fact that all these things happened, and there was like other things we were starting to realize too about this whole situation too, that we're like, wait, and
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
remember what the other
I
things
Oh,
no
what
idea.
were,
was it?
Remember.
but there was like something else that we were just like, holy crap.
Because
We
you
were
talked
like,
about what I wrote, and then
I don't know, but we also
No.
realized just like everything came in threes. It was like 3 things within 3 days on the third day of fasting, and then it was
Right.
just like 3, 3, 3, 3,
Yeah.
3. It was just wild
And
that
that's God because he loves
yeah,
threes.
he loves threes, you know?
threes
General-
and sevens.
yeah.
Those are like his
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. And
I
40.
think it had something to do with your notes.
did it have
again,
something to do with
too.
my notes again?
There's 2 things that
Well, because it wasn't the verse that I read.
I don't know. What was the verse that you read?
It says, He made the things we can see and the things we can't see, such as thrones, kingdoms, rulers, and
No.
authorities in the unseen world. No,
I don't think it was that.
maybe not. I don't know.
I'm not too sure, but yeah, no, all I know is that all these things just kind of happened and aligned, and it's just it's not a coincidence that all these things happen. We were just like, what is going on? We were like,
Right.
Well,
dude.
The crazy thing is, I think that we realize, we're like, we want to grow closer to God through fasting. And, we were we were not expecting it to be like this. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Because
not.
we were more, expecting it to be just like, read the Bible more, be able to focus more on the Bible. But no, it turned into God showing us
Yeah.
his supernatural
Yeah.
power. And I don't even know. Like
And
it's
you know what's crazy, because right before we discovered all, like we were talking about all this, we were talking about God's supernatural power.
That's what it was.
Yeah, we were literally
That's what it
having
was.
a
Okay.
topic about God's supernatural power, and then that led us into talking about the fast, And I said, yeah, you know what's crazy is I heard I command you to eat.
Okay,
I was like, but
yeah.
I wasn't sure.
That's
And
what
then
it was.
he said that he
Right.
read something. So it was like boom, 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 that we realized all these
Yes.
things.
Right.
It
And it
just
was like
Yeah.
back to back. And then it was
Yeah,
really
we're-
funny
That's what it was. Okay.
because like
Yeah.
everything that I like studied that morning led to a conversation. So like I did this study at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So, and we were having this huge long discussion. When did we start? Like 10 o'clock maybe? And like it ended at like 2:30, like
Not
1:30.
2:30.
I mean,
It was like 1:30.
1:30 in the morning. So it was like this long period. So like it was just
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
how everything I read and I wrote down,
Yeah.
everything correlated to what we were discussing. Like that's just weird to me and like so mind like boggling that like
Yeah.
something I
Yeah.
did hours before this conversation. Like I didn't come over going, oh yeah, we're gonna have this huge theological conversation
Yeah.
about what's going. Like no,
And if we never had this conversation, we never would have discovered
no,
these
No.
things. And what's even crazier, she says she read this at 9 a.m. What's 3 times 3? 9.
yeah,
Not that really has anything to do, but I don't
But-
know.
Yeah.
I don't
who
know.
knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Like it's just
But
it's
yeah,
just really
I
funny.
thought it was funny that we had, we're really deep theological conversation.
Oh, and we weren't even gonna have a deep theological
Yeah.
conversation.
No,
With that, I was just asking that. Literally, our conversation started off with me just asking, "What were we reading in our Bibles?" You know,
Yes, like, what our devotion
devotional
was.
about, and stuff.
yeah,
And then that was it. That was all I was expecting to talk about. And then next thing you know, we veered off into another topic, and then we veered off to another topic, and then next thing you
Yeah.
know, it's a 2-hour long conversation, and then we start talking about God's supernatural power through
And how,
something
like,
else.
You can't, like, how he can, the main thing about that conversation I do remember now is how he can do, like, just crazy things and, like,
yeah,
because
They're
he's outside
beyond our
of time,
understanding.
matter, and
space.
Space.
So he can do things that we just like can't fathom and comprehend. And
Yeah.
then this happens that we can't fathom and comprehend.
yeah. No,
how
it's
just-
It was a craziest thing, and we were just laughing hysterically, jumping up and down, and going, wait.
Yeah.
We were just like, this is crazy. It was the most bizarre, but also I
The coolest
you can't even
experience, though.
describe it. Yeah, it was the
Yes.
coolest experience and funniest, to be
yes,
honest.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I was in tears laughing because it was
Yeah.
just so funny that like we were like, oh my gosh, like he was right in front of us the whole time and we didn't even realize.
Right.
It was just wild, absolutely wild, and man, that
It was just fun. It was like
Yes.
a lot of realizations and a lot of things that just like came into the picture and made it easier, I think, for us to like really understand like no, because like you guys kind of went into this fasting like, all right, well, let's give it a try. Let's see like how close, like, if this does bring us closer to God. And I feel like it really did.
Yeah.
And it like
Yeah.
after,
It also brought the three of us.
but that's what I was
closer
about to
together.
say. Like
Yeah.
the three of us are definitely now closer
Mhm.
with everything that we've talked about and just like all of the
Mhm.
like the long talks. So it's like it's really cool though just to see like God's work and just see how like he really likes our friendship, because I feel like if he didn't like our
Yeah.
friendship, we wouldn't have experienced something so cool
Mhm.
as to like what we did.
together, too.
like-
Yes.
So
Yeah. And, like-
definitely. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. But it's just really cool that like we were each affected in different ways and at different times too. So it
Yeah.
wasn't even like the same time we were all
Yes.
affected, but we were affected throughout the day, or throughout the
Mhm.
week differently. And then we came together on Friday and we talked about everything.
Yes.
And that was really cool though, just to see how like he like impacted us in our lives, and it was just a really cool, fun like experience. And
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to more of these fun, like seeing God's sense of humor.
We'll see when
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah, I think it's crazy how he just gave, also the way he will give you signs in different ways.
yeah,
Because he gave Isaac a audible sign,
yeah,
Yeah.
gave me a visual sign, And it's funny because I'm a visual person, very visual person. I can't really remember something if I see something. Or sorry,
What?
hear something.
Yeah.
I messed that up. I meant to say hear. I don't remember things very well if you just tell me. I have to see it, and like Isaac is music. He likes audible stuff.
Right.
And then he just gave both of us pain. Maybe not not a lot of pain, I should say.
Not a lot
but
of pain, but it's just like
No.
a sharp pain, like right
Yes.
below, like I don't know how to explain
Right.
it, like right below, kind of like the ribs, but like
in
middle.
your stomach area.
Yeah, kind of like
Just-
right above the stomach.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the intestines.
But now you guys know for
Intestines
next
are
time
below.
I
to
don't know where they are. They didn't take anatomy.
I know. I can
Like
tell.
I said at the beginning, I'm not the sharpest light bulb in the closet, so
That's okay.
Mhm.
I mean, we all have our moments.
I just make music. Like, don't expect too much from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, but now you guys know though to like
Yes.
pay attention. I think a little
To
bit more.
Take some days off. If
Yes.
You're fast.
Take.
Yes,
That's
that.
one thing we'll say. If you want to do it, I recommend taking days off. You do a labor-intensive job.
And then next time, listen to the voice of God. The
Yeah.
first time.
Right? Yeah. Listen to the warning signs first.
There was the first time, I was the second time, and
and then it was the third
time
time
where it was like,
we're
nah,
like-
bruh, boom.
Boom!
We're
Like,
like,
I
okay,
tried to
yeah, we're
warn you,
yeah,
but
we're like, yeah, we're done.
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
Like-
it was just wild.
Definitely his sense of humor. You could definitely tell because
Yeah.
he's like, I just like warned you that this was gonna happen. It's kind of like when your parent tells you, don't put your hand on the stove.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself. God was like, guys, eat. You guys aren't going to feel good. And
Yeah.
you guys are like that
We
kid.
could have
Touch the
been, like,
stove.
Hospital. Or
Yeah.
something.
So,
Yes.
Could have gotten a little couple days off work. I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
no, he's not.
Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, definitely a crazy experience.
Yeah.
I pray you guys will be able to experience something like that, because if you ever get to, if God ever presents himself in a way that's
Yes.
like that, or even in ways that are, bigger than that, it's like, man, it is an awesome experience.
Yeah.
That was me, Elijah and I's second time feeling like the presence of God, which
Yes.
we'll probably get into the first time another time.
It's very short.
very
short.
short, but we'll save that for another time, I'm sure. But
Yes.
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have to cover
concludes,
today.
yeah.
That concludes
Yeah.
the quarter note for today. We love you guys. Jesus loves you guys. That's gonna be our new outro.
No matter where you are, who
No
you
matter
are.
where you are, who you are, what you've done.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I guess
This
so.
has
Yeah.
been.
Definitely an
Definitely
experience.
fun.
It's been fun.
But yeah,
I'm Elijah.
this is Isaac.
And I'm
And that's
Maddie.
Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and our friend.
I'm your brother.
Wait, what? You just said
What?
my girlfriend and our friend, and you pointed to Isaac. Like-
I'm your
no,
brother.
No,
No.
I meant like
Wait,
our
you should-
friend, like
What you should have
my
said.
my girlfriend and our friend.
Right.
No.
But you pointed at Isaac and was like, and our friend. Like, Isaac's your brother.
Reroll the intro. That I mean, reroll the outro.
Reroll. Do it again.
Zoop.
Yeah.
Wait, before we go, though, thank you guys, though, for having me on.
No
I
problem.
had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
talking about the stuff, so.
It's not as nerve wracking as you may think.
No, I
Yeah.
really thought I was going to throw up because I got so nervous.
It's okay.
Yeah, we've been there before. but,
Yeah. Never done this before, so it was fun.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. So
You're welcome. Yeah.
also, guys, if you guys really like me on the channel, please convince them to let me come back because
We probably won't.
probably not. They don't like me enough to do that.
We're joking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll be back at some point.
Some point, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll just re-roll outro, I guess. We love you guys. Jesus loves you guys.
No matter who you are, where you are, what you've done, we love you.
Thank you guys for watching,
Or listening.
listening.
Thank you for tuning into the Quarter Note Podcast. Make sure you rate and follow and tune in next week for the next episode.